Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about brows, honey. Since I get so many questions about how I do my brows, what brow products that I wear, I decided to finally film an updated brow routine. And I don't even want to call it an updated brow routine because I've been doing my brows like this for years. But I will say that the products that I've used have changed. I'm going to apply a little bit more lip gloss because I'm feeling a little dry. And for those of you guys who are wondering what lip combo I'm wearing, Sweetheart lip liner by Morphe, and they're only $3. I recently went to the Morphe store, so I picked up a bunch of their lip liners, and honestly, they are amazing. I'm gonna do a separate video on them because they're just so good, and they have so many nude colors. You guys know I love nude lipsticks. And then on top of that, I'm wearing more creamer, of course, by Dose of Colors. And on top of that, I'm wearing Gold's lip gloss by Dose of Colors. So these eyebrows that I'm going to be showing you guys how to do are very glam. So if you guys aren't going to be fully beat, I wouldn't recommend for you guys to do it. Even though the brows no se ven tan dramatic, it's because, again, my contours on fleek, my highlight on fleek, my lips, lashes, everything is just fully beat. If you guys haven't checked out my Noche tu Putear makeup tutorial, it's kind of similar to that, although this is a little bit different. But you guys know I love to feel bronzy and glowy, and this highlight is giving me life, bitch. So let's see what else. Is there anything else that I need to talk to you guys about before I get started with this tutorial? No, I think that's about it. Yeah, I want to keep this video cute and simple. If you want to know how to achieve these brows, then please keep on watching. To start, I'm taking this really thick cream concealer and I'm going to go ahead and underline my brow. Underlining your brow is going to help you already mimic a shape, and it just helps bring out your eyebrow a little bit more. I like to do this step first before actually applying my shadow or anything that I'm going to use on the brows, because I feel like I get a much cleaner and more precise eyebrow. And what I do with the concealer is I drag it downward, so that way it just makes it easier for me to blend it out later. Because if you don't drag it down and try to blend it out, you're going to smear the line. You want to make sure that the line is so crisp and clean. And if you guys are actually going to try out this tutorial, you can pretty much just cancel out my voice so you concentrate, because this takes a lot of concentration. I actually tried explaining it while I was doing it, but there's no way. I feel like this is just as difficult as doing wing liner. And if you guys do notice, I drag out the concealer all the way, even towards the end of my brow where there is no hair. Now what this does, again, it just kind of adds a shape to it, so that way when you go in with the pomade or whatever that you use, it makes it look like you have a longer eyebrow, but in reality you don't. That's why when a lot of people tell me like, oh, your eyebrows are so perfect, mine are fucked up, I'm just like, no, you just don't know how to do your eyebrows, because my eyebrows aren't that cute. To blend out the concealer, I'm going in with the Shack T44 brush, and this is seriously my favorite because it's like a duo fiber brush, so this works really well with cream products, and I feel like it blends out the concealer so good. Like if you can see in the video on the other side, it looks almost like caked on, and then after you go in to diffuse it, it just looks so seamless. I also do have a coupon code for Makeup Shack. I don't know if I've shared that code with you guys because I've never really talked about Makeup Shack before in my videos, so I'll go ahead and leave that down below. So my favorite eyebrow brush that I've been loving at the moment is the Anastasia Beverly Hills 7B. So what I do with this brush, since it's really dense and it just applies the product so well and so crisp, I start to do a line right underneath my eyebrow. And if you guys see, like, I'm kind of fucking up in between, but that's okay. Fucking up is completely normal. That's why always just keep your concealer on hand, which is why I use the back of my hand, because I can go back. My hand, I kind of use it like as a little palette to kind of go back to, because messing up is perfectly normal. So when I go towards the front of the eyebrow, I I hold the brush a little bit lighter because you want to make sure that the front part of your eyebrow is a little bit less dark than the rest. I always like to concentrate the darkness of the eyebrow on the lower part, as well as the end of the eyebrow. And notice that I don't keep picking up product along the way. What I do is just kind of work with what I have. Always keep in mind that less is more when doing your makeup. You don't want to apply too much, especially with a brow pomade, because it's really easy to fuck up. And the brush that I'm using right now is super easy to use. Like I said, it's really precise. Remember to not neglect the end of your eyebrow. You want to make sure you concentrate a good amount of product on there too, because there's no hair. So you want to make sure that your eyebrow looks like it's complete. So now I'm going in to carve the shape of the eyebrow. You guys can go ahead and get thick with it unless you like a thinner brow. But for my shape eyebrows, I love to make my eyebrows look thicker than what they are. So when you're doing the top shape of your eyebrow, you want to make sure that you add a good amount of product. Like right here, I can see that I wasn't using too much product, and the reason why I was doing that was just to kind of carve it out a little bit, and then you can go in a little bit darker. So you're kind of just like stenciling it in, and then you're adding more as you go along. And if you guys feel like your brush is starting to get too dry, or the product is starting to get too dry, you can clean off your brush with some alcohol and re-dip into the actual jar of the product and not on the back of your hand. Because when I'm doing my eyebrows, I notice that sometimes I take too long to do my eyebrows. Again, it just depends what kind of day it is, if I'm having a good brow day or not. So I just go back into the actual product, because the product is obviously a little bit more creamier than what you left on the back of your hand. So just when you think you're completely done with your eyebrows, you're not. Depending on how sharp you want it, you want to go back in with your concealer just to clean up any imperfections. And anytime you add concealer, you always want to make sure you go back in with that Makeup Shack brush to make sure to blend it out so the concealer doesn't look too thick. So the next step of the eyebrows is carving out the top. I'm using a totally different concealer because this one is a little bit thinner based. Again, I'm going back in on the back of my hand, and this step is actually really hard, so please be careful. If you notice, my hand is kind of like shaking, because if you fuck up on this part, it's really hard to get your brow back to the original shape. Because yeah, you can go back in with the eyebrow brush and the pomade, pero once the concealer gets on the brown part of the eyebrow, it can start to get gray. And I'm just so picky about that, but you know, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So I went ahead and concealed it, and then I'm going back in with the eyebrow brush just to make sure everything is perfect. So now I'm going to go ahead and blend out the eyebrow using the same buffing brush that we've been using throughout the whole tutorial. And we have one more step after this, which is going to be taking a clean tissue paper, and we're going to go ahead and blot the eyebrow. But please make sure when you guys do this step, do not move it too much, because then you can fuck up your eyebrow shape. Now what this does is it just takes off any excess concealer, and what this is going to do is prevent you from getting oily and just having a lot of concealer buildup throughout the day. Alright you guys, so these are the finished brows. You see how they don't look as dramatic anymore once the full makeup is on? And I've recently been obsessed with this Morphe palette. which is what I've been using for, I want to say, a good week now. This is the Dare to Create 39A palette, and I'm going to show you guys the colors really quickly. I really love how the middle section right here is just neutral transition shades. I really love it, and I love how you have your blues, and then you have your greens, and you also have some hot pinks and some dark browns. I feel like this is a must-have palette for sure. The formulation is amazing. The shadows blend out amazing. I'm wearing right now this shade right here. Well, I'm actually wearing like these three right here. Actually, these four right here. And then on my lid, I'm wearing a totally separate color. I feel like I've been getting my highlight down a little bit better. When I went to Manny's party, when he launched the Life's a Drag palette, I was with Daisy and I kicked it with Daisy that day, and oh my God, her makeup in person looks so flawless. Her highlight just looked so hydrated and her lips were just so glossy, and she just looked like a bronzed goddess. And I got so inspired after seeing her in person, so I was like, bitch, I gotta step my highlight game up, because you guys know I have textured skin, so I get scared to go in. But she said that she actually sprays the brush, and you gotta wet the highlight to make sure it goes on cuter. So shout out to Daisy, thank you for those tips, girl, because my face is beat. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. And I also recently started uploading again on my Operation Build a Booty Instagram, so you guys can see my fitness updates and things like that, because your girl gained 4 pounds. And you guys, my struggle with being skinny is so real, so fucking real. But anyway, I'm just gonna stop talking because I can talk forever. I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye.